That's energy. I know, right? That little can, I'm going to argue, is intrinsically tied to America's energy policies and success, our economic success, even our national security success, just that little can. The small amount of primary aluminum in that can is enormously energy intensive. In fact, the smelters that we need to build today in the United States, one of them will use as much power as Boston, and we need 4 at a time when we're talking about data centers and everything else. Now, the good news, I would like to start with the recycling story. This can is completely recyclable. And that's great because it only takes 5% of the energy to recycle it as it did to make the aluminum the first time. And that's why we recycle aluminum as a commodity more than any other commodity. Now, the average aluminum can in the United States, the average, not some best-in-case example that I trotted out on stage to wow you with, the average can is 70% recycled content, and the packaging sector is our worst sector for recycling. The automotive sector and the building and construction sector are all bringing back our metal at end of life at over 90%. And so last year in the United States, 85% of the aluminum that we produced in our products in North America was recycled content. So when we recycle, we save energy. And if we recycle the rest of these cans that we're not recycling today, we can power 2 million American homes for a year. And that's the end of my public service announcement on recycling. I'm Charles Johnson. I'm the president and CEO of the Aluminum Association, and we represent the companies that are making your cans, your cars, your buildings, your fighter jets. The smartphone in your pocket is made of aluminum, and the satellites in the sky that make it work are made of aluminum. And the simple message I wanted to come out and convince you of today is that this can and the aluminum industry are intrinsically tied to energy policy and the energy sector's success. And the energy sector's success is intrinsically tied to the aluminum sector's success. So I've already told you that we're an energy-intensive sector, and we need affordably priced, reliable energy into the future to be successful as an energy, and I'll talk about as an industry, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But the brave new world we're talking about in the energy sector this morning, a world in which we are more electricity intensive, but also more energy efficient, and where we are lower carbon as an energy sector, that's not going to be built on granola and hope. It's going to be built with aluminum. And so our sectors are tied together intrinsically, and our policies are tied together. Now today, the policies that are affecting our sector by and large are tariff policies. I'm sure you've seen us in the news. The steel and aluminum tariffs that President Trump is pursuing have become sort of the baseline, the base load for the trade policies that he is pursuing from the White House. And our sector is supporting the president in his goals of rehoming American manufacturing, especially in the upstream of basic manufacturing, which for us does mean aluminum smelters. But we've also been very clear that for our sector, we are unique, and tariffs alone won't do it. It will take energy policy, because we will have to have the energy to fire our smelters at any level of tariffs in order to rehome those smelters. Now, the good news is that we have been blessed in recent years with bipartisan consensus in Washington that this sector matters, and that, as I said at the beginning, the aluminum industry's success is tied to our energy sector success, our national security success, and ultimately our economic success. Today, our sector, our industry is at a crossroads. Over the past decade, we have invested more than $10 billion in the aluminum industry. We're building 2 of the largest rolling mills we've built since the early 1980s, so over 50 years, one in Mississippi, one in Alabama. And those rolling mills will supply this sector from the transformers to the charging stations. Our industry will provide the transmission wire, the towers that hold them up. This entire sector will be built with the aluminum that we're producing. We are excited, too, that this administration has announced and wants to build smelters in the upstream. But as I said, we need the right energy policy to support those smelters if they are going to be successful. And we need the metal supply to feed the furnaces that we built today to supply this sector in the future. Because for the 6 to 8 years it will take to build new smelters, we must have the metal to build the energy sector future that makes those smelters possible. Now, today, the Aluminum Association has released a brand new energy policy framework as part of its broader aluminum agenda. I'd encourage you to go to our website at aluminum.org/powerup. That's aluminum.org/powerup to read more about what it will take for us to be successful and for you to be successful. And do stop by the drink stand that we're sponsoring. Thank you very much.